What's good, everybody?
Hi.
Welcome back.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, who's this? I guess I have a new host.
Shy.
Oh, because Inside Out 2 came out, so you're like a new emotion.
Exactly, John. See, this is why we work so well together, because you pick up what I put down. And that's exactly what I was doing, because I love Inside Out, and you know that.
Welcome to another edition of Ringside.
Ringside. Sorry, I missed it.
My name is John.
And I'm Kendra.
So it's been 1 week since you looked at me. No, it's been a couple weeks since we had an episode. No. Yes. It has, because we didn't do a pre-preview. So
yes.
Sorry, my days are all mixed up. Hopefully you all had a wonderful holiday. Juneteenth just passed. If you celebrate, we all should. Most of us had the day off work.
But I did not.
Which
seems cruel, which seems wrong, which seems incorrect. I think someone made a mistake somewhere.
I know. I had the day off, but I've had every day off since.
You're on summer break.
Yeah. Speaking of Juneteenth, I did want to bring up one thing, which was Kendrick Lamar. Mm-hmm. You know, the reason for the season. Am I right?
Yep. He did it. He did it, folks.
Thanks, Kendrick. No, so he had this Juneteenth concert he did. I think it's called like the Pop Off or something. And my whole TikTok feed has been populated with all of this. Mm-hmm. Pop-offulated with all of this.
Okay.
Because he had this concert and he performed Not Like Us 5 times.
You gotta make sure it sticks.
It just reminds me of when like Jay-Z and Kanye were on tour and they would perform in Paris like 10, 15 times at every concert they did, which seems
like
excessive.
Full all the way through?
Yeah.
You know. No, that's quite excessive, but I haven't seen like any like full clips of any of those performances from
right.
Kendrick Lamar's Pop Off event. But I assume that people were like still hype after the 4th time, and they were like, one more? Let's do it.
Run it back. My favorite is there's a video, Dr. Dre's there. He does the beginning of the song, right? And when it gets to the wop, 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 wop part, the camera cuts to a different angle for each individual wop. And it looks like an anime or like wrestling. It blew me away. And it just reminded me just what a great time that week was when Family Matters dropped. And then like a couple minutes later, Meet the Grams dropped. It was just what a time.
Great for you and me.
What a beautiful time in 2024. Truly a moment that I hope we reflect on at the end of the year.
It's going to go in history textbooks.
And it should be in,
AP US history. A push. 10 years from now.
But anyway, welcome back to another episode. That's just something something fun that happened. But another less fun thing that happened was Kendra and I got into a little bit of a debate throughout the week. And it was about Jumanji.
So I don't even know how did we start on this topic? This was now days ago.
I don't remember.
Okay. There was an SNL skit that when Kirsten Wig, when she went back to host recently, they did a Jumanji SNL skit. That was basically our conversation. But her thing was like, she was afraid of the game Jumanji because she didn't want to be Jumanji'd into Jumanji. Right? And I think our conversation was more, would you rather be Jumanji'd into Jumanji or Jumanji come out to Jumanji you, out in your territory?
Right. And because my thing, I'm a child of the 90s. Big child.
What the hell?
I was a big child. No, I'm a big fan of the original Jumanji. I like the new ones too, don't get me wrong. But I said, I think it's scarier if Jumanji came out into the real world because of the original Jumanji, where you had like stampedes of animals in the house and shit. You had plants trying to kill you. You had little fucking monkeys running around stealing cop cars and shit. You had a boy turning into a monkey. You had just a fucking guy with a gun trying to fucking kill you, all from this game. And I think that's terrifying.
And well, here's the thing. I do too. I've never seen the original Jumanji because it scared me so much when I was a kid. Why would I watch that? That's not for children. That's a horror film. But my thing was like, I think I would rather Jumanji come to me than me getting Jumanji'd into Jumanji. Because in Jumanji, I'm out of my element. I don't know where the closest gas station is. Like, there's no 911.
Yeah, you're in a fucking video game.
I'm assuming from video game or board game, either way. I'm taking the Jumanji sequels. I've seen those. So that's what I'm using as like going into Jumanji.
Right.
And it seems bad. It seems like it sucks ass. And also you get scrambled. What if I end up in your body?
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, I'd rather them come to me. One, less travel. Who knows what going through a video game will do to you. Right. Two, I know where like the closest fire station is. I go to the firehouse and I say, can I have an axe? They say, sure. Because Jumanji's here. We all have to protect ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We have the entire U.S. military on this side of the Jumanji game. I feel more confident with them meeting me on my home turf.
They had a cop who had a gun, and he still couldn't be much help in the first Jumanji.
They had one cop with one gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why that didn't work.
David Allen Greer.
I don't know who that is.
He gave Alan the shoes. You haven't seen the first one, so we wouldn't fucking know.
Who the fuck is Alan? What are you talking about?
Robin Williams is Alan. Alan Parrish.
He was the boy.
Yeah.
And he turned into a Robin Williams.
He was sucked into the game and lived there for like 20 years.
So wait a minute. In the first Jumanji, he got Jumanji'd into Jumanji and Jumanji'd out of Jumanji. This changes everything.
The only Kendra, oh my god. So we need to watch Jumanji. So the reason why, yes, he got Jumanji'd into the game because the little girl from down the street, the little girl from down the street they liked each other. She came over and they were like, oh, I found this board game because they heard the board game making fucking noise. Listen.
Whose house was the board game in?
Alan's house.
Okay.
So Robin Williams' house.
Right.
When he was a boy.
Okay.
And so they play this game, and he gets sucked into the game, and you see it like his like there's like whoosh, all this wind, and you could see his body like morph. He's screaming, getting sucked into the game. The girl runs away because, of course, no one believes her.
Why didn't he run away?
Huh?
Why didn't he run away?
He was being sucked into the game.
It was an immediate suck.
It was his play.
Oh.
It was his play, so he got sucked into the game. And got stuck in there for like 20, 25 years. Yeah. And no one knew, obviously no one knew where the fuck he was. No one believed the girl. Like, hey, he got sucked into the game.
Why is no one listening to me?
Everyone told, she got fucking gaslit into thinking she was crazy. But then the only reason he gets released from Jumanji
is because 20 years later, Kirsten Dunst and that little boy who turns into a monkey, they start playing the game because they find the game. Lisa Ann Walters there somewhere. Seems like some sort of parental neglect.
Right.
How did the game get there in the first place? Why didn't anyone burn the game?
I don't think they knew what it was.
Put the game to the fireplace and burn the game.
And then, so that's the only reason he gets freed from Jumanji. And he's like, oh, I guess I'm free now. And it's very satisfying to see because he comes back and he's like in his own clothes he made out of like banana leaves and shit. And he's got like long hair and a big old beard. And he like finally gets to like shave it off and like cut his hair. It's like satisfying. When
Woody gets his makeover in Toy Story 2. Hell yeah.
But yeah, and then all this chaos ensues. He's like, wait, you opened the game? That's why this is happening. Yeah. And the fucking hunter who was hunting him in the game is in real life.
Did the hunter get Jumanji'd into Jumanji?
I don't think so. But you know what's crazy? You know my favorite part of it? The guy who plays the hunter who is hunting Alan, Robin Williams, is played by the same actor who plays Alan's father.
So maybe there was no hunter all along. Maybe Alan was just terrified of his abusive dad.
Maybe.
Who planted this game in their attic, I presume, so that Alan would get sucked into Jumanji. It's a lot easier to suck your kid into Jumanji than to like go through a court system.
Jesus Christ, that's not what happened. Anyway,
it could happen. You don't know.
But I think we're in agreement now. I think we've settled this. I think it would be scarier because at least if you're
we've settled nothing.
Listen, if you're in Jumanji, if we're going by the sequel rules, where there's like it's very video game inspired.
You're a video game character.
You're a video game character. You have like 1-ups. You have like extra lives. You got health.
That's true.
Shit you can find. NPCs who will help you find where you have to go.
Yeah.
And they'll only tell you that over and over again. So at least you have some help. If Jumanji's in the real world,
If Jumanji's in the real world, we have fighter jets. Again, the entire force of the U.S. military. Do you know how much money we personally, our taxes, invest into the U.S. government? It's about time they get off their ass and do something.
You know how many taxes I pay
Jumanji
every year for them to not do anything about Jumanji? Anyway, so I think it'd be scary. I don't know.
What do you guys think? I would love to know other people's opinions. Maybe people who have indeed seen all of the Jumanjis as well. Because maybe I'm missing something. I will not go back and rewatch the first Jumanji. Do not suggest that. It is scary. I didn't watch it as a kid on purpose.
Oh, we're watching it.
I'm not going to watch it as an adult.
We're doing it.
Because you know what?
Halloween, baby.
Things that look old movies, are scarier.
Because
even if they
old.
were like, this is a comedy film. It's from 1952. Nope. I'm not watching it because it's fucking scary.
I do think Jumanji is technically a family film. But there's a lot of dark shit that happens
in
that fucking movie.
It's a family film back when they like didn't really care too much about the psyche of children. They were like, whatever. I mean, smoke in schools or whatever. I don't care.
They're like, listen, you fuck around and play the wrong board game, you're going to get sucked into it. And
leave them outside until the
your
lights
parents
go
are going to
on.
die before you get to fucking... Anyway, they're going to die thinking you're dead because you're missing.
So he came back and his parents were fucking dead?
I believe so. I think so.
Except for his hunter dad. I saw maybe there was a connection there that you as a child missed, because there's no way that the same actor can play the hunter and the dad did not also get sucked into Jumanji and was trying to kill his son there too.
He wasn't trying to kill his son.
This guy was trying to kill his son the whole time.
We can't say that.
He's horrible. He's a bad dad.
Anyway, but yeah, y'all let us know. Would you rather be sucked into Jumanji
or spat out?
Or Jumanji spat out at you? Let us know. Anyway, keeping up with the summertime vibes. Listen, we're eating good this summer, y'all. We're not going to talk about all these things today, but I just want to acknowledge how great of a week it's been, mostly for me, but also for us. Because
not as much for me.
On Sundays, we start the week with some Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, right? Mondays, we got Raw, and don't worry, we're gonna talk about the latest episode of Raw. Mm-hmm. Okay. Tuesdays, we got a double feature, NXT and the Acolyte, right? On Thursdays, we got The Boys, and then Friday, getting ready for the fucking weekend, we got SmackDown. So like, I know lately I've like, especially on the podcast and like on TikTok and stuff, I know I talk about like how annoying it is when other people just complain about things. So I want to take this moment to just like celebrate that we've got all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know?
And then Wednesdays and Saturdays are left open for Christ. Go to church and read some Psalms. It's convenient. People go to church on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
The hymns and the hers, right? And the theys. Happy Pride. Because you said Psalms.
Yes. And you said hymns. And you turn that into
an all-inclusive. Yeah.
I saw what you were doing. I just didn't chuckle. I didn't chortle at it.
Anyway,
it was clever.
Speaking of the Acolyte, this is a funny thing that happened over the week. I do think it's worth mentioning. So before this latest episode of the Acolyte, the name Ki-Adi-Mundi didn't really mean anything to me, but boy oh boy did the Star Wars community open up the book that is the legend of Ki-Adi-Mundi. So Ki-Adi-Mundi,
their favorite. That's their favorite
fan
Jedi.
favorite, who I think had less than 5 lines across the prequels. So
how many lines did Boba Fett have before he was a fucking fan favorite? Exactly.
So in the latest episode of The Acolyte, we see a character that appeared in the prequels, and basically people were freaking out because, according to non-canonical books and materials, he was said to have been born at a much later time. So people are like, how the fuck is he there? And he was also in the prequels when his birthday is this. Again, a non-canonical source. And also in the prequels, he said something about the Sith being gone for a millennia or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the more important of the two things that people are upset about.
You'd be surprised how many people were upset about the birthday thing. What's funny about this is, one, we saw the character in the Acolyte for maybe 5 minutes. Maybe. That might be pushing it. Again, did not have very many lines. And again, when we watched it, I assumed it was a character of the same race. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize until later when other people pointed out that he was credited as this character, it was supposed to be the same guy. That's how little I thought of this fucking Ki-Adi-Mundi over the last 20 years. We just recently rewatched parts of the prequels because we were at a hotel. Yeah. We were on vacation, and it seems like they're doing a Star Wars marathon on TV all the time. So we were just watching a little bit of it. And I've seen those movies quite a few times. I never picked up his name. Like, I never remembered it. And I didn't watch any of the animated stuff growing up, so like maybe he was more important there. I don't know. But anyway, so he has been the most important character in Star Wars this entire week. Yeah. And it's funny because, again, we know why people are complaining about the show, but just using this character that I assume I'm not the only one who hasn't thought about him to justify like why the show's quote unquote garbage has been really, really funny.
Here's my thing. The birthday thing, whatever. There's ways around that.
Again, it was they had the chance to rewrite the canon because that was non-canonical. Anyway, sorry.
The contradictory statement of like the millennia versus like, but you're here 100 years earlier and like you know that there's a Sith. First of all, have they specifically said so far in the show that is a Sith?
I don't think anyone has said the word Sith.
I don't know. So my thing is like, I can see why people would be upset about contradictory information, but we don't know yet if that information is technically contradictory in Ki-Adi's head because we still have like many episodes left. I think that's my biggest gripe is that people are like making all these assumptions
right
before the final product is out. You've seen 3/5 of this story.
Right.
So who's to say that something that happens in the last 2/5 make sense? And I was telling you, I'm like, there's so much time and research that goes into this like mega huge universe of characters and timelines and places and dates and planets and powers and abilities and all this shit. I don't think that someone would go back and like research this character, Ki-Adi. I call him by his first name.
Master Mundi.
Master fucking Mundi. I don't think they would like go back to like pull this character from the archives and then just completely disregard his probably most infamous line about there hasn't been a Sith. I don't think that would happen. I have more faith in them than that.
Well, I think he also said in the prequels something about how Count Dooku would never kill someone or something like that.
I know that.
And like maybe his thing is just
being wrong. Maybe he's
his
just stupid. We don't know.
Being misinformed.
But
he's got a big old brain and nothing going on in there.
Maybe it's hollow. I don't know. So yeah, I'm just like, let's wait. And if this one like contradiction, or maybe you see this being as a Sith when technically they haven't named them a Sith yet, if that is like what takes you out of the entire show altogether because like that is a really important piece of information for you, that's fine. Just wait until the end to make those decisions, and then just don't watch the next season if there's a next season. I just don't understand the mentality of like, we're halfway through it, let's make all of our assumptions now about all the information we've seen thus far, which is like also infamously nothing is as it seems in the show. That's the point of it.
Right.
So I don't know. And then you had a different view on like, if they don't want it to get out that there is a legitimate Sith walking around with his little, what are the Sith apprentices called?
I think you could say apprentice. I don't think they'd be called a Padawan.
No, that seems too nice for them. If they don't want that information out, it would make sense that he wouldn't mention it.
Yeah, so my thing was, I'm like, all right, let's just use a little logic. So even in that scene that he's in, which he wasn't part of this particular dialogue, but see, I'm really bad with the names. There's so many names in Star Wars,
and they're all a little funky.
But the green lady was telling Master Soul, like, if this is one of our own, well, she told all of them, if this is another Jedi training a Jedi killer, that's going to look, we can't tell the High Council just yet because it's going to be a huge scandal, like a political scandal.
Yeah.
So Ki-Adi-Mundi, when you see him in the prequels, is on the Jedi Council, the High Council. So, like, I'm assuming that if it's, like, viewed as a political position, would he not maybe stand to benefit from keeping his spot to lie about knowing about a Sith? But also, I think that's one way to my weird way of like justifying it, right? But if we go into our actual real world, the head writer, Leslie Headland, has been open about the show explores how there could have been a Sith like infiltration without anyone knowing. That's the whole point of the show. Mm-hmm. So if that's the explanation of the show, I don't think we're messing up the canon, because he genuinely wouldn't know, and that's what the show is explaining, right? So anyway, I think the whole situation overall, I know we're talking like about different possibilities and scenarios, and you're absolutely right. Like, let them explain a little bit. Let them cook, as the kids say. Overall, I just think the fact that the controversy is around this character.
Yeah.
That again, no one thinks about Ki-Adi-Mundi.
It could be someone's favorite character. You don't know.
I mean, I guess. I haven't thought about Ki-Adi-Mundi since. Well, now he's all I can think about. I go to sleep and I think about him. But anyway, more to the actual show. Frickin' Manny Jacinto.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
I know one day it will be my last name, but it's not yet. So let me double check. Jacinto. I mean, that's how it's spelled. It might be pronounced differently. It's a Filipino last name, so it's probably more Spanish influenced.
Manny Jacinto. I want to keep my eye on this fool in the show.
Yeah.
He was awfully suspicious in this latest episode.
He's been suspicious every episode he's been in.
Like, I mean, right off the fucking gate, he was making poisons and shit when May was trying to kill him. He was like matrixing that shit up, just like final boss level shit, just like mid conversation dodging like death blows.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it at the time, but it was this latest episode when he was like fucking tweaking out everywhere in the goddamn woods. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? What are you doing?
What do you mean wrong? Nothing's wrong with him. He's perfect and fine.
And then he was like getting real serious, like, oh, he's gonna kill you.
See, that's the thing. It's like, I can't tell if he's just like a really genuinely eccentric person, this character.
Right.
And he's like playing him like a little bit scattered. And Eric Voss compared him to Professor Quirrell, which is like exactly what I've been thinking. But I can't tell if like we're seeing just a genuinely like scattered person, or we're seeing parts of the facade fading away when he's serious, because he's very rarely serious. But and then he knows things that he shouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's like you weren't there for that. I don't know. I'm just.
So I think his name's Kimir.
Kimir?
Yeah. Qimir. Kimir.
Yeah, Kimir.
Yeah.
Keimer.
Keimer. I'm gonna say Kimir, and y'all correct me. Y'all let us know who's right.
I don't
or
know.
we'll just rewatch the episode. But anyway, I'm kind of thinking he might be the masked villain, because we technically not a Sith, right? Yeah. As of now.
I mean, is it? This guy had not guy. This masked character has a
red lightsaber.
Red, not orange.
It looked pretty red to me.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was red.
Very scary mask.
Very scary mask.
Star Wars, usually like the masks are like pretty good.
Pretty sexy.
Pretty sexy masks. This one not sexy at all.
It reminds me of something else.
It reminds me of I think they're called bullet bills in Mario.
From Mario?
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. I don't know why you're laughing. Spot on.
It looks like something else to me.
I just told you.
I feel like I said to me.
Pac-Man?
No, it doesn't remind me of fucking Pac-Man. But anyway, so I don't know. I know we might never find out who's in that mask, and that would kind of be cool.
What do you mean never? We have to.
Oh, do we?
I guess not, but I think it could be a lot of different people. I see. This is what I like about this show. It's like there's such good mystery in it. At least so far. Again, the best and worst part about mysteries is they're really solidified, good or bad, in like the final act. So we'll see if it's like good or bad. But
here's the cool thing. Here's the really, really cool thing. We've now established, which this isn't the first time Star Wars has done this, but we have this group of people who use the Force and call it by another name, right? Mm-hmm. Those witches, and they call it the thread, right? They refer to it as something different. In my just how I view the show, I know that the lightsabers are associated with Jedi, and it's kind of part of the religion, right? Like to get the Kyber crystal, and you know. But like that didn't stop Finn in the sequels from picking up a lightsaber to defend himself against Kylo Ren, right? Because at its core, I mean, General Grievous, not a Jedi, can use lightsabers, right?
Lots of them
at the same time. So I'm like, that opens up a possibility that maybe this person was influenced, maybe even created by someone who's not even a Jedi. So they might not be Jedi or Sith. Like, I don't know. Like, there's
just some other like Force sensitive thing. They're like I asked if they had an orange lightsaber because of what we saw in Ahsoka.
Right.
There were those two like rogue. They still used the Force,
right,
from what I remember, and they had orange lightsabers. So it could be some other like completely rogue, off-brand something else,
right,
that we're not technically calling a Sith, which brings us back to the whole Ki-Adi-Mundi thing. Yeah. Did I get that name right?
Yeah, no, you got it.
I nailed it. Thank you. But yeah, that's the other thing about being in a universe that is fucking massive and ever expanding,
right,
and changing, is that there could be any explanation. Ki-Adi-Mundi could have had his fucking memory wiped at the end of this fucking show. I don't know if we've ever done that before in Star Wars.
I don't think, not that I know of.
But maybe it starts right now. Like, there are just so many other explanations. And that's what keeps it really exciting to watch, because I don't know what's happening. It feels very weird that they'd bring someone like, what's her name? Carrie-Anne Moss, in for a role that's like, she dies the first episode, spoiler, and then is only seen in like flashbacks every once in a while. That seems weird. Maybe it's her under that mask.
Right.
She had the little eye tattoo that changed from 1 to 2. Yeah. Maybe that was marking twins. Maybe she has an evil twin. It's very telenovela. Like anything. And now people are like, it's true.
You're not wrong.
People are like analyzing the height difference between Osha and this masked person.
Right.
And I'm like, that they could easily be throwing us off with that. It's just so much fun to theorize. And yeah, I like what they've been doing so far. I'm not going to let like one maybe incorrect piece of lore or contradictory statement stop me from watching the rest of it. And I don't think other people should either.
Right. I agree. So apparently episode 5 is going to be the crazy one of the season. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, especially because it's supposed to be like Rashomon inspired. So really excited about that. So more to come on the Acolyte. All right. But the big story, our main topic today. Sorry, I had to set up for this one. Is the most chaotic and beautiful week in WWE. Y'all, I think this was quite possibly one of the most exciting weeks of the year for WWE, at least since all the WrestleMania stuff. So we'll get to the big stories, but I do want to quickly talk about Money in the Bank. So Money in the Bank is shaping up, the Money in the Bank ladder matches are shaping up to be some really, really fun, and just like, you don't know who's going to win it.
Yeah.
So we have only a few people confirmed. I was looking for the actual like winners of the matches, but I can't seem to find them. Hang on one second.
You might want to check WWE's Twitter.
Ooh, hang on. I don't have Twitter, so I'm gonna check their Instagram.
Yeah, the WWE website is like notoriously bad.
Ass.
It's not bad, but like I tried today to look for the start time for Money in the Bank to see if I could indeed go to IKEA that day. And it was like pulling fucking teeth trying to find information. Like I'm trying to find WWE graphics that tell me what time it is at.
Right.
And like nothing, like there's no way to look at future events until you're like closer to them. So it was a pain in my ass.
All right. So far in the Money in the Bank matches, we have Jey Uso, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes confirmed for the men's ladder match. And for the women's ladder match, we have Io Sky, Chelsea Green.
Yes!
Y'all, when I say we were fucking cheering up and down, like I got out of my seat. We were so happy.
We love Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green was going. We love Chelsea Green. And also just like, I don't know, like I feel like she's one of those, I'm glad she's being used in a different way now, like outside of the tag team, without really compromising her tag team with Piper Niven, her alliance with Piper Niven. But I just love how they're using her, both as a mouthpiece, but also now like as a competitor. Mm-hmm. So, and just the cherry on top of her win is that she won the same exact way that the Unholy Union won at Clash of the Castle, and she stole Bianca's win. Anyway, we were so happy. I'm excited. She's fucking hilarious. So she's gonna be so funny. Now, will she win? That's another story.
I would love it if she won.
That would just be the bane of like the division's existence is if she fucking won Money in the Bank. But next week we have some pretty interesting matches. I think what's her name? Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton are in the same match.
Yeah.
So.
And the British one with the hair.
Oh, Blair Davenport.
Yeah, and
is she
Naomi.
in that match? Naomi has a match too.
Are there two?
I'm sorry?
Are there two qualifying matches?
Well, I mean, they're gonna have to. I think so.
Next week? This upcoming week?
I don't think they've announced the full card, but I think so.
Well, I know that. What's her name?
Blair Davenport.
Blair. I wanted to say Claire for a second. Blair Davenport was talking to someone backstage about their like beating Naomi.
She was talking to Bailey
in a qualifying match. So I assume that's also this upcoming week.
I don't know, but anyway. So, and more will come. I'm sure we're forgetting some things about Money in the Bank, but
it's fucking raining. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
That
okay.
pissed me off.
Well, but anyway, let's talk about the big things that happened. So on Monday Night Raw, we got to light a couple candles because a lot of good men and women lost their lives on Monday Night Raw. So it finally happened after weeks and weeks of these terrifying messages and QR codes. Mm-hmm. We finally saw the reintroduction of Uncle Howdy alongside the Wyatt Six.
SICKS. 6.
Yes, 6. And they took up the last like 5-6 minutes of the show, and I gotta say, as far as presentations and debuts go, it was pretty fucking phenomenal. Like everybody loved it.
I was terrified the whole time,
which means it was doing its job.
Which is crazy because like I've been scared for the past like 2 months.
Right.
However long this whole campaign has gone, I've been frightened by it. But it started out as like a tribute, like a kind of a heartbreaking tribute.
Right.
So I was like, the lights went out and I'm like, cool, I'm scared. I'm already scared. And then I wanted to cry, not from fear, but from sad.
Right.
And then I wanted to cry from fear again.
Right.
Because I did not expect it to be that violent.
They did this like whole haunted house, like something you'd see at Halloween Horror Nights, which was really cool. And it was like one big long shot, like they just had the one camera following through, and you saw all the Firefly Funhouse character, Firehouse subs, Firefly Funhouse characters come to life, right? But in just these horrific ways, and there's just bodies and blood and like fog everywhere. It was absolutely crazy. And then of course we get a zoom in on freaking Master Gable, Chad Gable,
who looked deceased. That was did they need to make him look that dead?
Before we pan up to Uncle Howdy doing his terrifying business, and then of course it ends with another tribute to Bray Wyatt
and another fucking
jump scare, just for good measure. So anyway, it was just absolutely crazy. I'm glad they gave him the end of the show and didn't try to because that was truly the big moment, right?
That's what everyone was waiting for the whole night. It needed to be the end. It couldn't have been the beginning. And
it was just so well done.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Jey Uso on an online exclusive was like, I don't want any beef with them. I don't want no smoke with them. Welcome to Raw. He was like, I'm glad they didn't get me while I was out there.
Yeah.
This was just right after Jey won his qualifying match for Money in the Bank. But yeah, it was just such a cool moment. But apparently the chaos is not, exclusive to WWE, though all the WWE shows now have
extra security.
Added security everywhere. And it's part of the show now. You saw the security guards next to the announcers on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. They were talking about how they had to have increased security because of it. Not that it fucking mattered. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, it was really cool. And now they're fucking stalking Pat McAfee outside of the WWE. So for any sports fans who watch the Pat McAfee show, you might have seen some bits now where the lights are going out randomly or there's glitches in the broadcast. I'm like, damn, they're really doing a lot of cross promotion for this, which is really cool. It's cool to see that.
I love that. Do you think Impulsive will be next?
I don't give a shit about Impulsive, but I hope so.
I think they will.
So that would be fucking funny. Oh, because it's a podcast, so anyone listening who's just listening gets a scary message.
Fuck that.
Imagine you're trying to listen to it.
Fuck that. No.
WWE, if you weren't thinking of that before and you think of it now, TM. So anyway, that was crazy enough. And then we get to NXT. They're starting with the fucking the Battle Royal. Mm-hmm. And what's one of the first things we hear? Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Clap, clap. So Joe Hendry popped up on NXT, got one of the biggest pops I think you could get on NXT because it's such a small crowd, but they made so much noise. They were singing his music. And then you see the effect on social media. It became the highest viewed and liked right after The Undertaker's return at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. That's crazy because he doesn't fucking wrestle there.
He doesn't even go here.
For approximately 90 seconds, he was the most important person in WWE. And briefly got fucking eliminated from the Battle Royal.
Which is I was pretty PO'd about that one. And apparently everyone else was too. But he backstage after he got eliminated, he was telling Shawn Michaels and the world, I can pop up anywhere now.
All you have to do is say his name.
So I have a feeling that was just an entrance and that we're going to see him other places as well.
Well, today he posted a picture on Instagram. He's very active on social media. I think he's genuinely really appreciative that so many people are behind him right now. He posted a picture outside of an ice cream shop called Joe's. Mm. And he was like, it's a hot one out here today. Definitely a heat wave or something like that.
Interesting.
So I'm like, I think we'll see him Money in the Bank weekend at NXT Heat Wave. Which would be cool. I hope we see him in a match. And I mean, the rest of NXT was really great too, but
that was crazy because we all thought that he was going to be at
Clash at the Castle
because that makes sense. But also there was that whole him being in Orlando thing.
Right.
So after Clash at the Castle, I was pretty much well, that would have been cool, but there's always Royal Rumble or something.
Right. And I think he'll be there too. Maybe. I think anytime they can have him there, they're going to have him there before he inevitably signs with them if his contract with TNA is up and they're going to throw a whole lot of money at him.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So I was already in my head, it's not, I'm not going to see him anytime soon. So it was kind of a lovely surprise to see him at NXT the very next day.
Yeah. Right after Raw. Especially because we needed some levity after that dark ending to Raw.
Yeah.
Later in the week, Chad Gable did post online.
Oh, he's fine.
He was taken out of the match for a moment, his qualifying match for Money in the Bank. I think he's been put back in since, but he posted online to let us know he was okay by posting up a picture of Jason Voorhees popping up out of his grave.
Yeah.
Which is fucking hilarious. I love Chad Gable. Then we get to Friday. We get a little break from all the craziness. Then we get to Friday. And y'all, if you thought the violence was over, you'd be mistaken. So CM Punk comes out in Chicago like he's wanted to do. Paul Heyman tries to leave with him. But
Paul Heyman says, please, for your own good, you have to get the fuck out of here. They're going to whoop your ass. And when you go, please take me with you.
And he's like fighting back tears.
Sad.
Also, interesting lore that by orders of your tribal chief, Roman Reigns, the Bloodline's not to put hands on CM Punk. Yeah. Because of how much he means to Paul Heyman. And I think that's really interesting.
Very interesting.
Anyway.
Sorry, my own ice in my cup. I heard it through my headphones, and it scared the shit out of me. Excuse me.
What better sound is there than this? But anyway, that's not the crazy part. There, Kayla Braxton is trying to do her job, trying to be a good journalist, do an interview, and then you hear bangs outside of the entrance to
it's like a truck entrance.
The truck entrance to the arena, and they open up like fucking Batman. You see Drew McIntyre standing over the carcass of CM Punk, bloodied.
They love the blood at WWE lately.
And Drew McIntyre picks him up, holds him across his back like Christ-like.
Yes.
And Drew makes the walk of his life. What do we call this? This was Drew's something. There's a name for it.
Oh man, Drew's Via Dolorosa. I had some fun on the Google.
Just carrying.
I guess it's more CM Punk's.
Yeah, CM Punk's Via Dolorosa. Because he was sacrificed.
He was.
And
for his own sins.
Drew McIntyre doesn't say anything, just drops him for the Chicago crowd to see.
Ka-thunk.
Fucking
Remember that one time
he might have injured him again.
Remember that one time Gibby's stunt actor fell onto what I assume was concrete and broke his ribs? That's what it looked like when CM Punk was
just fucking dropped him.
Thrown from Drew's shoulder.
I hope he's okay.
Drew McIntyre is 8 feet tall. That was like a floor of a fall.
And then just the final fuck you on that was he steals a bracelet off of CM Punk. Now, some internet sleuths did a close-up on that bracelet, and it has a couple names on it, including his wife's name.
Oh.
It's still like a family bracelet.
An heirloom.
And then Nick Aldis pushed McIntyre first, so McIntyre was well within his right to push him back, I must say. He's just defending himself at that point. So, anyway, Drew McIntyre's in big trouble. We're going to find out what happens on Monday. He's had the shortest retirement.
He's going to get a fine.
He's going to get fired and just keep coming back. Like that Brooks Jensen who's been on NXT. That was another thing that happened on NXT was Brooks Jensen was...
I'm still unsure and unclear because I don't watch NXT like that.
I think his story is that he's either trying to get his job back or...
trying to kill somebody.
Trying to get revenge on them. But... either way, I kind of dig it.
I just don't know if it's real or not.
And then if that weren't crazy enough to watch CM Punk get stretchered out, sent out in an ambulance. Why did I say it like that?
Sent out in an ambulance.
Sent out in an ambulance. 2 cases of coaxium.
2 containers of coaxium.
And then if that wasn't crazy enough, we saw the introduction, the bolstering of the bloodline. Big fucking problem for everyone. We saw the debut of Jacob Fatu, who went out there and truly handled business for the family. He soloed Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and Cody Rhodes in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, it was a long time coming. We knew that eventually he'd have to come join.
And that big motherfucker really flew from the top turnbuckle and just fucking landed on Cody Rhodes with such force that he like bounced.
Yeah, he bounced. He had airtime. That was crazy. But now it's very interesting. This new fake, what's that one? Walmart brand, Equate.
Great Value. Equate.
Great Value. The Great Value bloodline. They have 2 Fatus.
2 Fatus and 2 Tongans.
I don't know their last name.
I don't know. That's why I called them. I mean, their names in wrestling are Tonga something. That's why I call them Tongans.
Yeah,
and
they're also Tongan.
They're also Tongan. But that feels weird.
It does feel weird. I need something to, you know what? And I can't even ask WWE to be like, hey, what do I call these 2 people?
You know what's even more confusing is that
I was in the middle of a thought. Are you kidding me? I deal with this every single day. It's not just John. Every member of my family just like doesn't give a shit about what I'm talking about. They have to cut in. My cats do it. Anyway, I was saying we can't even trust the WWE to like tell us what these 2 people together should be called because they're going to say some racist shit about how they're like crazy and wild and savages.
Yeah. I think their words, not ours.
Their words. Yeah, I would never say that. Especially
I
not
think
to
they
them.
did have a name in New Japan as a tag team. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But I apologize for cutting you off before. I try to be better about that. But
it was so funny. Fuck.
But what I was gonna say is that I was doing a little research on Jacob Fatu, not the Usos' brother, he's their cousin. And
that's why he doesn't look like them.
Right. I know you were saying like, oh, he doesn't look like the other ones.
Yeah.
So found out though, that his father also wrestled for WWE way back in the day.
Unsurprising.
You know what his name was? The Tonga Kid.
Wait a second.
Yes. I'm like, wait.
Was he Tongan?
No, he's Samoan.
Okay, yeah.
So anyway, I'm just like, but I guess maybe he was on a team with Haku, who is Tongan. So I'm like, so maybe the whole bloodline thing does actually kind of work out.
Maybe they too have some sort of blood
oath
or whatever the fuck. I love that.
So anyway.
Wait, sorry.
No, yeah.
Is there another like brother?
There's another Fatu out there on the. I'm sure there's more than one. Zilla Fatu is out and about doing stuff. So
that's who I was thinking of.
Who knows if he gets into this somehow? Jackie Legs from Canarsie, he's in this. So Kangaroo Jack reference.
What the fuck was that? Kangaroo Jack?
Shut up.
I've never seen it.
So shut up.
You went into it so flawlessly. I thought it was a thought from your head.
No. But anyway, so I don't know if Zilla Fatu eventually gets brought in this, but right now, I mean, we have a solid 4v4 for War Games.
Mm-hmm. When is War Games?
In November.
We've got some time. 4v4v4.
But
Roman comes back. 4v4v4.
Do we have 4? I don't know how Sami Zayn. I don't know if Sami Zayn's part of this much family drama. This seems like
a
little more personal than Sami Zayn.
Older, yeah.
But anyway, so that was the crazy week in WWE.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu looked like $1 million. One thing I don't appreciate online, and I get why people are doing it. They're like, oh, in 5 minutes, Jacob Fatu outshined Solo Sikoa. I'm like, yeah, because he had an amazing debut, like that. But just because y'all have some weird hang up about Solo and the Usos right now, the internet pretends to hate them all for some reason. I'm like, let's let the story play out a little bit. Like, let's not get too crazy.
What did you want to happen? Jacob Fatu comes and has a mediocre first appearance and no one gives a shit?
Yeah, like, but they're like, oh, put him on the mic. He's going to outshine Solo. Like, do you want that to happen? Like, don't you want them to like work together to bolster both of them? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just it's a weird hang up. Everyone online again is pretending to hate all of them for some reason.
It's interesting because I remember people online talking about how Roman Reigns was completely like OP and overrated,
right?
And blah blah blah. And then it's so strange, but like every time the Bloodline comes out nowadays, I hear we want Roman. That's so crazy how that happens.
Fickle.
You're all fickle. I've loved him the whole time. Do you see that? That's my credentials.
I was gonna say, here's the thing. Even though this like new Bloodline, Kendra called them great value. I didn't.
Equate. That's their beauty line.
When they throw, it's like second nature. When they throw up the ones, I can't help it.
Yeah. Pavlovian.
Yeah.
We've been rewarded for that behavior for so long with good matches.
Anyway, But that covers this crazy week in WWE, and that kind of covers what we got going on today. So I want to say we had a lot of fun. We laughed. We cried. I got stuff in my eye.
Yeah.
I cut Kendra off.
More than once.
And so you're all caught up. So thank you.
It stopped raining. The sun's out, guys.
Was that payback?
A little bit.
Did you even realize that you did that?
Yes.
Thank y'all for listening to
Fuck.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to Ringside.
Ringside.
If you haven't already, please follow us on all the social medias. Go ahead and follow us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. Don't forget to rate us. 5 stars would be excellent, though. Do what your heart tells you. If you didn't like it, just don't rate it, you know?
Don't. 1 to 3, let's not even bother with those.
Yeah, but if it's 4 or 5.
4 out of 5, that's a B.
Let's keep them coming. And don't forget to follow us, like I said, on all the social medias, including Twitch, where we'll be doing a pre-preview for Money in the Bank, because we ain't going to be out for vacation that day. So
I do have therapy that day.
We'll be back on our bullshit, even if it's just me. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Follow us on Twitch to be notified of whenever we go live. And that's not all we do on Twitch. Sometimes Kendra comes on here and does a playthrough of a game.
It's been such a long time. I need to get back into it because that was a lot of fun. Here's my gripe. Sorry, going off on a tangent. I don't like editing. I don't like it. I'm not good at it. I don't want to do it. So that's what keeps me from streaming stuff, because I'm like, oh, I have to edit it and put it on YouTube. So I think a way to get over that is to just upload the full streams onto YouTube.
I mean, that's...
So make sure you're following us on YouTube as well. Maybe one day you'll see me stream again, alone. If you hate John, again, I say this every time. If you hate John, that's such a good opportunity for you and for me.
And I do get it. Like, I can be a lot sometimes.
And I do get it. That's so sad.
So anyway, yeah, so be on the lookout for all those things. It's funny you say that, because now I was just thinking about this today. Like, there's stuff that, like, let's say I wanted to talk about The Boys or Smash. I can't really do that on the podcast because it's just the two of us, and
I don't watch The Boys, and I'm not gonna facilitate any conversations about Smash.
I'm back on my Smash bullshit, y'all. So I was thinking, like, that might be a good way to, like, you continue to utilize the YouTube channel. I do some of that stuff on TikTok, but I realize, especially in the past like year, most of our YouTube content is just the podcast and like streams and stuff. So trying to think of ways to like
diversify.
Yeah, diversify our portfolio.
Also, TikTok might not be around in a month.
Yeah, so
or not a month, in a year.
Yeah, so again, all the more reasons to follow us and subscribe to us on all the things, if you don't mind, if you've got the time and want and yearning. So anyway, I'm rambling at this point. So thank you all for checking us out. Share, don't forget to like, comment, share, all the things. And we'll catch you for the next one.
See ya. Oh my God.
Motherfucker.
Oh.
Right.
Bye.